Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 7th grade concept of volume. This is standard 7.9a in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 7 off the 2022 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have a rectangular pyramid, and this first word rectangular just kind of lets us know that the base is going to be pyramid. There are triangular pyramids, there are square pyramids. This is a rectangular based pyramid, and we've got the dimensions shown, and we simply looking for the volume. So it's a pretty straightforward problem as long as we know where to look for our formula. So we're looking for volume, so that's the space inside this three-dimensional object. And if you look on your mathematics chart, which is where we should always look, you're going to see this. The volume of a pyramid or the volume of a cone actually both have the exact same formula. So in this case, we're going to be looking for the volume of a pyramid, and it's going to be 1/3 BH. So whether it's pyramid or a cone, it's 1/3 BH. Now we are very familiar with this BH because that is how we find the volume of a rectangular prism or even a cylinder. So it's 1/3 of that, which means if you had a rectangular prism with the same base and height, you could fit 3 of these pyramids into that rectangular prism because this is just 1/3 of it. So the height's pretty easy. The height is going to be this 6 millimeters. Now, just to watch out real quick, you notice that this 6 millimeters isn't actually one of the edges. It is an imaginary line. That's why it's dotted right there, because it's kind of inside. And it's always going to show you from the vertex at the very top. And then it's going to make this little right angle, and it's going to look like it's floating in the middle of the base. And that is going to be the height, because you need it from the very top to the very bottom. But it has to be straight, has to make a right angle, be perpendicular. What you don't want is sometimes you will get something that actually has something like, let's say this is 7 millimeters. This edge right here is not the height because it does not form a right angle. It's not perpendicular with the base. So this problem doesn't necessarily have that as extra information, but sometimes it will. You want what's from the apex here down to the base with a right angle. All right, so our height is pretty easy. Let's do 1/3 base times 6. Okay? Now, the only work we really have to do here is the base, because the base is actually the area of the base. And you've got to figure out how to find that on your own. This is a rectangular pyramid, so it's a rectangular base. So how do we find the area of the base? Well, it's a rectangle, so what are you going to find for area of a rectangle? You're going to find another base times height. Or when we first started learning about this in 3rd grade, we called it length times width, but base times height, length times width. You just take your 2 side lengths here and you multiply them. Okay? So your base times height is going to be 5 times 4, so that's 20. All right, so we get 20 square millimeters here. So we need to take this 20 right here, and we're going to shove it right back into that up there. So let me rewrite this. My volume is going to equals 1/3, 20 square millimeters, and then I've got my height of 6 millimeters. And that's why my answer is going to be cubed, because I've got a squared and an m, so there's 3 m's together. That's why it's going to be cubed. So we just need to mash these together here. If you want, you can just take your 1/3, you can multiply that by 6, right? So that's going to be 20 times 6 over 3, which is really just 20 times 2. And that is going to be 40 millimeters cubed. Our answer is D.